Timeline of the Philippine-American War. With Spanish colonial rule ended, the Filipino fight for independence turned on the USA. Battle of Manila Bay, May 1898, early in the Spanish-American War, the U.S. concludes it must defeat a Spanish squadron in Manila Bay. With a force that massively outguns the Spanish, it engages and sinks 6 vessels, while suffering just 10 casualties, weakening the Spanish grasp on the Philippines. A revolutionaries return, 19th May 1898. Following the U.S. victory at the Battle of Manila Bay, Spanish colonial control of the Philippines weakens. The Filipino revolutionary leader Emilio Aguinaldo is transported back from exile in Hong Kong aboard the USS McCulloch. Treaty of Paris, August 1898. February 1899. Armistice negotiations begin in August 1898, and the Spanish cede Cuba and the Philippines. Although Filipino revolutionaries supported U.S. forces to overthrow the Spanish, the U.S. decides to colonize the Philippines. Arrangements are made in the Treaty of Paris, which the U.S. Senate passes in February 1899. Battle of Manila, 4 and 5 February 1899. The Filipino insurgency against U.S. occupation begins with the largest battle of the war. The Filipinos struggle during the first day and push for a truce, but the American commander, Elwell Stephen Otis, refuses and escalates fighting into a second day. The Filipinos are defeated, but minor skirmishes continue on the outskirts of Manila for several days. Battle of CALOOCAN, 10th of February 1899. Following a 3-hour bombardment, American troops, led by Arthur MacArthur Jr., storm CALOOCAN. Success at CALOOCAN brings substantial sections of the Manila-Dagupan Railroad under U.S. control. However, most Filipino troops retreat and regroup, launching an unsuccessful counterattack 12 days later. MALOLOS falls, 25 until 31 March 1899. MacArthur opts to advance towards Malolos along the Manila-Dagupan Railway. On the way, they defeat Filipino forces at the Battle of Marilao River. U.S. forces eventually reach the suburbs of Malolos on 30th March and capture the city a day later at the cost of just 8 U.S. troops. Assassination of Antonio Luna, 5th June 1899. While traveling to Aguinaldo's headquarters, General Antonio Luna encounters an old enemy, Captain Pedro Janolino. Heated words are exchanged, and Janolino hits Luna in the head with his bolo knife. Janolino's men then open fire, killing Luna. As one of Aguinaldo's fiercest generals and best sharpshooters, the killing of Luna is a significant setback to the Filipino war effort and exposes division in the revolution. Guerrilla warfare formally adopted, 13th of November 1899. Continued defeats in conventional engagements cause Aguinaldo to decree that guerrilla war, previously considered his option of final recourse, should now be the insurgency's foremost strategy. A succession of bloody ambushes against U.S. forces follows. Death of Major General LAWTON, 15th December 1899. No U.S. serviceman is safe from the Filipino guerrilla marksmen. Major General Henry Ware Lawton becomes the first general officer of the U.S. Army killed in overseas action, struck by sharpshooter's bullet during the Battle of San Mateo. Philippines under martial law, 20 December 1900. Responding to the new guerrilla threat, MacArthur, now military governor of the Philippines, places the whole country under martial law. U.S. troops take action against anyone suspected of supporting the insurgency. Filipino leaders who advocate for Philippine independence are arrested and deported to Guam. Capture of Aguinaldo, 23 March 1901. Aguinaldo is detained after U.S. troops disguise themselves as Filipino soldiers and pretend to be transporting U.S. prisoners of war. On 1 April, he signs an oath accepting that the U.S. officially controls the Philippines and issues a formal surrender. However, sporadic hostilities continue for the next 12 years. Scorched Earth begins, September 1901. After the destruction of a 74-man U.S. military garrison, J. Franklin Bell is made commander of U.S. forces in Batangas and Laguna. He begins counterinsurgency efforts later referred to as scorched earth tactics. Bell orders the relocation of civilians to internment camps, the destruction of crops, and the slaughter of livestock. Investigation into torture, 31st January 1902. The Lodge Committee begins an investigation into allegations of war crimes in the Philippines. The first witness to testify, future President William Howard Taft, admits that the torturing of natives by so-called water cure and other methods had been used on some occasions to extract information. General Miguel Malvar surrenders, 16th April 1902. In early 1902, the last remnants of Filipino resistance fade away. Guerrilla General Miguel Malvar attempts to establish a pseudo-republic in Batangas province. However, he later surrenders to Bell after continued desertion by his officers and his concern for the suffering of Filipino civilians. Moros Rebellion inflamed, March 1902. Filipinos make peace with the U.S., but the Moros Muslim population continues to resist occupation. Across 3 incidents in March, 3 U.S. servicemen are killed in ambushes near Parang. Major General Adna Chaffee attempts to open negotiations, but fails to appreciate that the Moros are not homogeneous, and he cannot secure a settlement. The Battle of Pandapatan follows, and the conflict continues until 1913. The conflict officially ends. The war officially comes to its conclusion when the U.S. Congress passes the Philippine Organic Act. It includes Bill of Rights for Filipinos, element of self-government, and amnesty for Filipinos who had participated in the fighting. However, full independence is not given to Filipinos until 1946.